Alright, what we want to talk about here is the Layers palette. You can access the Layers palette from under Window in the main menu, or of course you can go over to the far right of your screen and pull it over from the palettes that are there on that side of the screen. But at any rate, you always start out with one layer, and just think of the layers as a deck of cards, and each card is transparent, so that we can have any number of layers, and it's a great way to organize and isolate things, especially when, like the calendar, you have elements on top of other elements, and you go to click on one thing and it accesses another thing, and so it can really be a bit of a hassle, and this will ensure that you don't inadvertently move things or access things that you don't want. So I expect you to use layers, multiple layers, and put things on separate layers and label those layers. So here we always have one layer, or in this case layer 1. If we double click on this word here, we can bring up a dialog box that will let us change the name of it. And I'll just, for the simplicity's sake, call it the grid, and we're going to come back and talk about that. So I'm going to name one the grid. Then I'm going to create a new one, and either I can, as always, at the bottom of the these different windows, I can create a new page, or in this case a new layer, by clicking this little icon, and now I have a second layer. And in this one I'm going to again double click it and name it, rename it, and I'm going to put numbers, because I'm going to use this for my numbers of my calendar. It'd help if I spelled it right, wouldn't it? Okay, numbers. Okay, so that'll be my numbers, and notice that each one is automatically color coded as well, and that can be another little guide that helps you keep these things organized. So I can activate or click on the one that I want to start with, and then anything that I do will automatically be on that layer. So for the moment, I'm going to go ahead and create a text box, and I will come back and name that text box. And just to show you things quickly and hopefully easily, I'm going to go ahead and name or add some color. Here's some wording, okay, and I've got some words here, and we can see that it's in the text box. And my point that I want to make here is that with respect to manipulating our layers, we can turn off or make it invisible for us to see it, but it's still there by clicking this little eyeball, as you can see right there. Clicking the eyeball hides it. Another very handy thing to do is to lock it. I may want it to be visible, but I don't want to by accidentally have it keep being activated and being moved or just getting in our way. So I can lock it right next to the eyeball. I can lock it, and now I can't do anything or get access to it, although it's still visible. So that's another handy tool. Another thing is that sometimes we will have something on a layer and realize that we'd like to move it to a different layer. And that's very easy to do. We simply activate the graphic, and when I do that, I want you to notice that a little color coordinated square is going to pop up right over here to the right on the Layers palette. And so when I click on that block of text, notice this little symbol pops up, and it's automatically color coded to the color of the layer. And you notice here that the guidelines are in blue, like the color coding of that layer. And if I want to move it to the numbers, see, here it is. If I want to move this copy to the numbers layer, all I need to do is click on it and activate it, and then slide this little dot right here up to whatever other layer I want it to be on. And suddenly it is there. Notice that the outline changed to be color coordinated with the red layer. And to make sure that that's what I've done, there you go. When I turn off the numbers layer, now this text also disappears. So it's simply click on it, and you can drag it from one layer to another to move it. And that's very easy to do. A couple of other things, not only can we create a new layer by clicking this icon, but we can also duplicate an existing layer and everything that's on that layer by simply dragging that layer down to the new page icon, and there I have a complete duplicate. And by the same token, I can also click it and throw it away by dragging any layer to the trash here at the bottom of the layers palette. And that pretty much takes care of your layers. The other thing that I would like to point out is that we can also, one other feature of layers is that we can change the stacking order of the layers. And what I mean by that is I'm purposely going to create a box here, and you can see fill it with color. And I can let's see, let me just do it with a light color here, and that layer is the grid is behind the type, and it's below the type layer. And if I want to put the yellow box on the grid layer in front of the numbers, all I need to do is again just simply drag this above the numbers layer, just like that. I click and I hold my mouse and drag it, and there you see. Now the grid, which has the yellow box, is in front of the type. Change the stacking order, just like shuffling a deck of cards. I can click on it, drag it below, and now, as you can see, the type is in front of the yellow box. So that's another feature of working with layers, is that you can change the stacking order. And there we have it.